What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Daysha E.
And it's your boy, Dante.
And y'all already know we are back for another great episode of Culture or Clickbait, where we take the hottest headlines in music, sports, and entertainment, and we determine whether it's for the culture
or simply just for clicks.
There was a whole lot of hand motion.
I know, right?
Blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. Love that for me. What's up, Dante? How you been?
Nothing much. How you been?
I've been swell.
It looks like you had an interesting weekend, so I want to know about it.
I did. TT went outside a little bit. It wasn't like that much outside, but yeah.
I literally binge watched a new favorite show of mine on Netflix.
What is it called?
If y'all haven't seen it, The Resident.
Ah.
It's like I'm not gonna compare it to The Oval because it's nothing like The Oval. It's actually way better than The Oval. Shonda Rhimes produced it, but it's really good. It's like the way that the story is told. I was gravitated into the show from episode 1, 5 minutes in.
Oh,
the drama already got started. The killings already got started. It's like one of them murder mystery type shows, but it was really good. And then the lady from Orange is the New Black, I forget her name, but if you got it, put it in the comments. She is the main character. She plays the detective, so she's just finding out like who actually did the murder. It was good though.
I feel like I attempted to start that, but my attention span sometimes be short. I'm kind of hooked on 0 Day right now on Netflix though.
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's really good. It's just about like how the world goes black for like a minute, and a whole bunch of people die within that minute, and they just trying to basically figure out like who had enough power to make that happen. And then it's like a task force that's created with a former president that's running it, and it's like really good.
Okay.
It might be a little slow to some people, but it's a good show.
I'll definitely tell y'all right now out there in social media world, if y'all got any good Netflix series for me, let me know because I love to sit and binge watch series, movies, whatever. Put it in the comments.
Definitely be needing stuff to watch.
Now, while we're talking about stuff to watch, if y'all have not been keeping up, Jess Hilarious and Lauren LaRosa from the Breakfast Club, if you didn't know, they just recently had a little altercation on last week. But this week, my girls are in good hands.
They
now,
are.
Lauren LaRosa has actually been awarded a new show on the Black Effect Network and iHeartMedia called The Latest with Lauren LaRosa. Shout out to Lauren.
For sure. That's
one
dope.
time. And I also, if y'all haven't seen, I also like how they've been putting a spin on all the drama by doing like little parodies and little content pieces, kind of leaning into it.
Yeah. Like
leaning into the drama. So they made a remix to The Boy Is Mine, Monica, and called it Bronica.
Yep. The Job Is Mine.
It's called A Job Is Mine. I'm not gonna lie, this whole thing has been pretty interesting to watch. And I love how they just took something so negative and made it into something very positive. To me, honestly, this is like the epitome of capitalism.
Yeah, I think they're doing a good job right now with creating this content and just showing everybody like we can not be on the same page and then work our way to a point of unity again. So I'm very proud of them, and just as two Black women, for them to hone it together and spin this and make this stuff content and make it entertaining for their audience, I think that like it's the perfect thing to do. So I'm super proud of them. I think that is dope.
I do too. Now, if you ask me, I definitely think this is something for the culture, because why I say that, when it comes down to situations like this, we don't see what people actually kind of like twist the narrative.
Yeah.
This is one of those very few times where you see someone actually take a situation that's meant to be highlighted as so bad and change the narrative to something so positive. And then it takes me back to my question on last week when I asked the state of her career. I think something like this actually repairs it in so many ways, because now we're also able to see what benefit she does bring to the network, if there has ever been any question.
Yeah, I don't think that that's ever really been a question, but I'm gonna definitely say that this is for the culture too, for the workplace culture, so everybody can be on one accord. But I think that a lot of the time we don't see situations play out like this, or we will get people acting like they cool and you can still tell the vibes is off. And I feel like they genuinely came to some common grounds, and it worked out in both of their favor. And I love how the whole team is a part of like the spinning of the whole incident. Like you got DJ Envy and Charlemagne as well, because they did their little parody of like they after the show, like a little sitcom, which I think is something that they should do. Yes, I think that's something that they actually should do and add as like a whole nother segment and just something social and fun to have on a platform for people to get a feel for them. But I think that this right here is definitely for the culture for me.
Hey, one time for the culture.
I love it. Girls winning, unity, and everybody being able to work together.
Mm-hmm. Now, what else is for the culture is Jess Hilarious did her interview with Club Shay Shay podcast.
Yes,
now,
she did.
Tell us a little bit more about that day, because I know you saw it.
Yes, so this was a very cute interview, and I feel like Jess was kind of spilling some tea, even her own tea. She talked about how her sister was the person that gave up the fact that she got a BBL. She talked about how her sneaky link and smash buddy turns into her husband. She talked about a little bit of everything. She even touched on a little bit of her and Lauren's situation and some of the beefs that she have in the industry as well. And I think that Jess does a great job at explaining like how stuff is happening for her in like the simplest terms, and I think she do a good job with like standing her ground as well. Like she's not easily moved by anybody or their opinions or what they have to say, and that's probably one of my favorite things about her. She's truly unapologetically herself.
One of the things that I took away from her Club Shay Shay interview that I actually liked, and what it gave me a perspective on her. Now, I've already seen things and, you know, her patterns of behavior, but this actually brought it all into context. She actually does know how to take accountability for her actions.
She's a very mature girl.
Even down to, so she was talking about the situation with her sister, for instance. She said, you know, she had to fire her. Mm-hmm. And that was why her sister told her about her BBL. You know, after she had to get rid of her. So it was justified why they had beef. Yeah. You know, but in at the same time, it's like, all right, well, I had to do what I had to do. And then that means you had to tell the world about my BBL. Cool.
So be it.
But then she went into details about the BBL. And then she was just talking about how, like, the doctor told her she did a fat transplant. Mm-hmm. Because at the time, it wasn't called technically a BBL. She did a fat transplant, and they told her, well, you don't have enough fat to transplant. So she told them, well, just take whatever's there and do something with it. Uh-huh. And they told her it's not going to look like a lot, right? So she was like, forget it. She did it anyway. And she feel like she got the most natural BBL out here that she, and I'm not gonna lie, I like it.
Yeah, her BBL do look nice,
though. It do look natural.
I think that her body looks very good for some of the body structures that we see going on out there in the industry. Now, speaking of her body, we had Mr. Shay Shay himself give her an apology about his statements that he previously made about her stature and her build and like what she looks like, and she pretty much, you know, just ate that. Like, no, I wasn't that deep to begin with. Like, people talk about me and say what I look like all the time. I'm not too pressed about it, but I thought that was like a nice gesture of him to make sure that she was truly comfortable. But I feel like it take a lot to make somebody like Jess uncomfortable. Right. On top of the fact of her being like a comedian, it's just certain things is within her scope to talk about naturally that might not be the most comfortable to a normal person that she can stomach.
And I actually feel like her being a comedian is like her strong suit in these moments, because that's what makes her be able to kind of like detach from the situation and not take it so personal. Yeah. Because she got to joke about people on a daily. Mm-hmm. So you can't think that you are, you know, exempt from those jokes as well. Yeah. And I think because she understands that, she knows that, hey, I dish it, so I got to be able to take it as well. For sure. And I like that.
For sure. She's a good sport. Now, also in this interview, something that caught wildfire online was the fact that she compared Cardi B and Offset relationship and marriage to Rashida and Kurt. And in this clip, she basically stated that Rashida and Kurt has the type of marriage that you kind of supposed to have. Like, that is what marriage looks like in a sense. And by that, what she was saying was weathering all of the different seasons and all of the different trials and tribulations and all the stuff that come with marriage, they're holding it down despite what's being thrown at them. But she compared it to the fact that Cardi and Offset situations are always very public, and Offset is usually the one that's doing something disrespectful to Cardi, and Cardi pretty much is just done at this point, and Offset is truly upset about the fact that Cardi is giving pushback. She not taking the gifts no more. She not taking the Birkin bags. Like, she's not taking the shut up gifts in order for them to just move forward. She's done. So I thought that was a cool comparison, because the reality of the situation is people do drag Kurt and Rashida real bad online. But hey, for better or for worse, and to death do you part, literally.
What I like about the Kirk and Rashida situation is that they capitalizing off of it, right?
Yeah.
So even though it's a bad situation, they make a bad situation financial. Mm-hmm. So to the point where, all right, well, y'all want to laugh about my situation? Pay me to laugh about it.
Bank. Yeah.
We laughing to the bank. So y'all gonna pay me to enjoy my life. And that's fine, because she's already dealt with it. You know, she's already set. She done already did her cries and all that, writing in a journal. She done already went through all the emotions she needed to do to handle it. So now she let it play out on TV. Now, granted, that takes a whole nother level of strength that I probably ain't got. But I ain't at her level yet either. I don't know what might happen when I get there.
Yeah.
I might be like, fuck it. I want to
not married yet, so who knows?
Right. And I mean, that is the whole thing about relationships, right? When you're in a relationship that's sustainable, or that you feel like you want to make it work, a lot of people, whether they say they will or will not, a lot of people will stick it out with that person. So we see it all the time. I think the whole Club Shay Shay interview is definitely, I think it was cultural.
Yeah.
And, you know, that is only because I was able to see Jess in the light that I can appreciate.
Yeah.
Outside of her comedic.
I can agree. I will give this... Will I give this cultural? You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Hold on. Take that back. I'm gonna give this clickbait.
Okay.
But the reason I'm gonna give this clickbait is because, one, I feel like no shade to nobody at all. I think Jess landed this interview coming off of all of the Breakfast Club stuff. Yeah. Right? So that was kind of clickbaity. Granted, a cultural workspace discussion, but that was also clickbaity at the same time. So with this being the residual from that happening, I'm going to give this clickbait that worked out in her favor. I'm going to give this clickbait that came with another form of publicity. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. This is just proof on what clickbait can do. The duality of clickbait.
It's not always bad.
It's not always bad.
No, I like that perspective though. I can go with that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Now, you know some other stuff that's definitely clickbait.
Always with these
y'all
people.
know when the laughs come in, y'all know some stuff about to come. So we already just kind of briefed it. If you know anything about what's going on right now in the media, Cardi B and Offset are still at it again. Now, Cardi B took to social media to let it be known that Offset is still harassing her, in her words, harassing her, trying to get back with her, stating things like "I'm sorry," etc., and sending very vulgar text messages, even going as far as to saying if that she didn't take him back, he would kill himself, her and the kid in my yeah. That is a lot, right? That is loaded.
Very ghetto.
It's given clickbait. It's given I want your attention, baby. I'm sorry. It's given I'm down on bended knee.
Oh wow.
That's what it's given.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that this definitely is clickbait. I'm truly completely over being in the midst of their situation. I'm not gonna lie. Like, they just give very, very, very hood cousins that's just like living out they breakup online. Like, it's very, very ghetto. Like, threatening to kill yourself and
OD.
Her is
That's
just like,
OD.
whoa, everybody bring it back. Don't you got hoes? Like, what's happening here? You lost 1, you gained 10. Are they not enough? I'm confused. But
I mean, you're Offset. You ain't gotta do all of that.
no, now Offset is upset. We ain't even calling him Offset no more because he always mad. And my thing is, you had her. You had the opportunity, and I'm almost sure she has given you chance after chance after chance after chance. So I feel like to go so low as to do things like send to the people that she's dating her nudes or her sex tape or y'all sexual experiences is just like, this why you don't let niggas record stuff. This is why. You be in love. You be so in love in the moment, and then boom, something happened, and then boom.
See,
now we know what your routine
you gotta be
look
careful
like.
with that shit too, because I'm not gonna lie. You send me some nudes or a sex tape or somebody that I'm dealing with that you used to deal with, I'm hit you back with, I already know what it feels like. I just had it.
Hello, I did it too.
Like,
I had it.
thank you for the reminder. She already showed me the video.
Hello. I actually got to see in real time. I experienced it too, my boy.
So thank you. I see why you missed it, my boy.
Yeah, I'd be a little upset. If I was upset, I'd be a little upset too.
Like, it's giving crash out, bro. It's giving crash out. And I've been there before. I've been in your shoes. I swear to God. It's giving crash out. Take it from a former crash out. I graduated.
I'm not gonna lie. This is extremely clickbaity, but it's funny to me because it's just giving very big Libra energy. It's like y'all love to drag Libras in the comments and say that we a horrible sign or whatever y'all like to say about us, but it's an experience here. And when the experience stops, you feel it. You feel it every time. So it's just eating him up that she out there living and just moving forward. But I feel like both of them at this point need to give each other grace. Like, just go on. Go on, soak your oats, do whatever you gonna do, and just get it together for the sake of the kids.
In the words of Daysha Excel, let it go, bro.
Period. I love that. No, this is definitely clickbait, though.
Definitely. This is all the way clickbait.
So I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this started out as clickbait, but they moving into their cultural era because Pop the Balloon has landed on Netflix. That's major. That's major. So the infamous internet sensation Pop the Balloon, where y'all see like the 20 people lined up with the balloons and they pop. If they feel like the candidate is not a good person to date, they pop their balloon and they discuss why. Now, they will be on Netflix April 10th, and this is just major advancement here. Like, this is the perfect example of us seeing something go from being clickbaity to cultural. Mm-hmm. And over the course of time since Pop the Balloon came out, they have had 100 million views since it started.
That is big.
100 million is crazy.
Right.
So I see why Netflix got a hold of this. And then Netflix is kind of like a household place for some dating shows. Like, it's a decent amount of dating shows, from international dating shows all the way to ones that's all the way in the U.S. So I'm not surprised that they decided to pick it up.
Me neither, because you can see that Netflix is like slowly but surely, well, not even slowly, very aggressively moving into that trendy space of like trendy content.
Yeah.
And not even just trendy content, more like that dating style content as well, like dating serial shows.
Yeah.
So I it's not something that seems out of scope for them. And I honestly feel like this is also something cultural, because it showed us how somebody can start with the smallest idea and make it become to something so big. And now it's landed a Netflix series.
Yeah.
And then also, if you guys don't know, the original producer and host of the show, she is now going to be the executive producer, and the host will now be Yvonne Your Orgy. Now, if you don't know who Yvonne Your Orgy is, she was the best friend in the show Insecure with Issa Rae.
Yep.
So I think even making her like a host of the show is even a good look too, because now it's going to give the show a broader scope, right? Yeah. Because now they're able to catch her fan base and everybody who know of her.
Yeah.
So she's gonna promote it. Netflix is gonna promote it. The show is just gonna become bigger.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what happens with the show, and I think that Yvonne is a good person to host it, just because she has like a fun personality.
She definitely does.
So I think that she'll add like a fun and comedic feel to the situation, and I'm happy that they're keeping the young lady on who started the show, because we see often than not that the people who originally start stuff usually get left off of Bad and Bougie. So it's good that she stayed on and that they gave her a role. So I'm excited to see what happened. Now, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I have never watched a full episode of this Pop the Balloon thing ever. I only see the clips. So I mean, I might tune in for a whole episode when it get on Netflix, but I only catch the clips online.
I'm actually excited to kind of see how they do the formatting. Like, will the format of the show still be the same, or are they gonna make some changes?
Yeah.
Just to even the look, the aesthetics. There's gonna be a live studio audience. Like, I want to see what that looks like from this level.
So I'm going to go with the fact that it might be a live studio audience, because the name of the show now will be Pop the Balloon Live. So that kind of hints at it might be a studio audience who we get full sound from and feedback from. So we just have to stay tuned and see what happens.
Stay tuned, ladies. Stay tuned. Now, while we talk about audience feedback, somebody didn't read the room correctly because Mr. Marvin Sapp, come to the front of the congregation.
Lord.
Why are you locking people in a church telling them they can't leave? That's the question for you to answer.
$20.
For $20. Now, if you ask me, and I put this in the comments, I said, at that point, I would have called the police because now I'm a hostage.
Oh my God.
I'm a hostage and you're extorting me. So if y'all don't know, for all you guys who have not been on it, Marvin Sapp is under fire in the media because recently he went to his church congregation during the time of offering and he told the ushers to lock the doors. Close the doors, lock the doors, they can't leave. Now, in this time, he kept on going and asking them to give, $20 a person. But before he even got to the explanation of the $20, he was stuck on the fact that they needed to raise $40,000 for the church and they needed everybody to give.
Yes.
Now, there is nothing wrong with giving your offering to the church. We understand how that goes. We all know. We all have been to church most of our life, so we get the idea of offering. The problem comes in is when you feel like you can tell someone you cannot leave. Who are you?
Yeah. Now, you are just a vessel that the Lord is supposed to be working through to communicate to his people. Now, granted, I'm not gonna lie, is the $20 a person bad? No, it's not. But coming after instructing ushers to lock the doors,
right?
And then you could tell like the ushers was taken back, like, huh? Because he was like, lock the doors. Like, again, like, y'all heard me. And it's like, well, if your ushers don't want to do it for real, and the congregation kind of probably in there questioning it a little bit, I just feel like there has to be a better way, because again, does this happen at churches where
all the time
offering done already happened, but then the pastor will come back up and say, we have a goal that we're trying to reach here, we trying to do X, Y, and Z, trying to expand the church, whatever our goal is, we need everybody to reach down in your purse or in your pocket and give us a love offering. That does happen in churches, and I have no issue with that at all. It's just the optics of what it looked like. The approach. It just was kind of off.
Like it's the idea that you just can't say, lock them in.
Yeah.
Like if people are getting up, leaving because maybe they feel some type of way about the offering you have, because we only see a small context of a larger conversation. So if people had started walking out, 9 times out of 10, you had already pissed them off before they even got to that point.
Yeah.
Because that's why they walking out the door.
My thing is,
and if you got to beg your congregation to come sit back down to pay you, that shows that there's a whole nother issue.
You know, that's really awkward. Imagine being one of the people that was leaving church early that day and you walking down the aisle and he screamed, close the door.
We're going to leave all at the same time.
In the aisle. Whole congregation just looking around like,
I'm still headed towards the door.
Me too. I would have been like, open sesame. What y'all think this is? I know he said lock it, but in Jesus' name, I said, free me. Open these doors. I gotta go. Now, I'm not gonna lie. This right here would be clickbait for me, but the reality of the situation is, does this generation feel some type of way about the church home, the atmosphere that's set in certain sanctuaries and leadership and how pastors carry out certain things? I think that that's a cultural discussion, because there's a lot of millennials and Gen Zers and just people in general who don't often attend church because of all of the different things that happens.
Right.
And I feel like that right there is a cultural conversation, because you need the people, and the reality of the situation is you can create your own sanctuary at home and you can do your own studying at home, but the word also tells you like you need to be in a church. You need to be a part of the body of Christ, and that comes with a church home. So I feel like certain stuff like this makes it harder to grasp that younger generation to actually come to church,
especially a generation that feels like they don't have to go out to do anything these days.
Yep.
Everybody's working from home. everybody
church
doing
online,
everything from home, social media. So they're not even really coming to the church house that much.
Yeah.
And so even from home, if they're digitally watching it, a lot of people who watch church from home really don't feel the need to give offering. Not even really tithe.
Yeah.
So it's just paying attention to the room. I feel like he did not do a good job in that point, and I'm even disappointed in you, Marvin Sapp, for that.
Yeah. Now we also have, Dante, the Billboard Women in Music Awards that just took place, and it was a beautiful lineup of women all over the industry. I got to see like parts of the red carpet. I didn't get to like see the full award show, but we did have some amazing ladies take home awards. We had Doechii hold it down and take home award. We had Money Long. We had Glow. It was a little bit of everybody in the room, but the red carpet I did see, and there were some girls who had some looks on, and Glow being one of my favorite looks from the whole night.
Now it's crazy that you say Glow, because I was actually going to talk about Glow as well. I love how Glow got up there and did her speech. It was really quick, really sweet, but it's her personality that stood out for me.
Yeah,
because
always.
I think every day I'm falling more and more in love with Glorilla. I'm not gonna lie, and to the point that if you look at Glow's trajectory of her career, she's becoming this global household name for real.
Yeah.
And like even right now, like they just put out the dates for Atlanta Birthday Bash, and Glorilla is the headliner. It's Glorilla and Friends. So I feel like that right there alone for me puts a big like eyeballs for Glorilla for me, honestly. And so seeing her last night do her thing, I liked it.
I do too. Now we can't talk about this award show without talking about the infamous Erykah Badu accepting the Icon Award for the night, but also her performance, which had a shocking outfit that got the internet talking right now. My girl wore a BBL suit with a natural BBL body up under that suit. Now, we have to talk about this because obviously there was some form of symbolism that was there. There was a statement that was trying to be made with her outfit choice. And if we know Erykah Badu, we know her to basically be like a social activist through her music. So I feel like this aligns with her brand. I want to know from you as a young black man, what do you think that she was trying to get across with her look?
So the unserious me, right? The unserious me would say that BBL suit said, this what y'all look like when y'all get on stage with these BBLs.
That is what they look like when they get on stage with the BBL, though. You're not lying.
I feel like she was genuinely trying to make a statement, making it be known that like that is not what's needed.
Yeah.
And you know, I could be interpreting this all wrong, you guys, so don't hold it to me. But in my interpretation of it, that's what I got.
Yeah.
I feel like she's wanting to show them like BBLs are unnecessary. There's other ways, there's other things you could do, but this is not it, because this is what you look like. You look like a fool.
Yeah, I agree. So I feel like that's what she was trying to do too. I feel like she was trying to bring awareness to like the societal norms of the whole idea of needing to be built like that, or feeling like you need to be built like that. I feel like we see it more often now than ever, where everybody is just openly getting these dramatic body jobs done, and I think that it's something that the industry has pushed so hard that I think that she was making a mockery of it. It's kind of like it's the new thing that the black people got to do to kind of like break in. It kind of give like our new vibe of how we have to showboat around the industry at this point as black people.
Starter kit. If you're a girl, you gotta get a BBL.
Yeah, and it's like it's not giving that. Everybody not built like that. Everybody don't need to be built like that. Some of y'all need to go undo some of that.
BBL.
BBL to hit the BBL jersey for Erykah Badu is crazy. Now I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was very funny that she decided to do the little twerk thing and then do the little hand up the crack, and the booty cheeks actually moved on it, so it was like ooh, that's cute. I thought it was cute. I thought it was cute.
So what would you say for if you asked me the Erykah Badu and her statement piece, I will say now that was something cultural.
Yeah.
I feel like the Billboard Music Awards was cultural in some of the awards, but her specifically, that was a cultural moment.
Yeah, I think that this was overall a cultural situation as well. Like when you see so many beautiful black women dominating in different ways, all in one room collectively, that's just always something that'll be for the culture for me in particular. So I'm here for it.
Now, in other news, Daysha, I cannot move on without talking about this because this has been on my heart since I saw it. DJ Akademiks recently did an interview with Kanye, right? And in this recent interview with Kanye, Kanye entered the chat wearing a black KKK mask and all black ensemble. Now, in this interview, he also spoke about a lot of different topics and subjects of things that we have been seeing culturally in pop culture today.
Yep.
Such as the fact that he feels like Kendrick Lamar, but the situation between Kendrick Lamar and Drake. Drake is a bigger cultural significant artist than Kendrick Lamar. He feels like Drake has done more for the culture in the eyes of music, in the eyes of setting the tone, than Kendrick has ever done. Now, once again, that is his opinion. Nobody's saying it's wrong. He also goes into details about comparing the situation between Drake and Diddy, R. Kelly, and I forgot the other guy he named, honestly. But he basically was saying all of them are the same. Oh, Kendrick. He was talking about the Kendrick situation. He's basically saying Diddy and Drake, not Diddy and Drake, R. Kelly and Drake are literally the same people. It's just Drake hasn't got his turn yet. So he feels like the whole campaign of no Diddy and putting Diddy under the bus the way that they have been doing for him these past few days, making him the enemy. He feels like that's exactly what's going to happen to Drake, and Drake doesn't even know it.
I can believe it.
It's all systematic. It's all something that's already underhandedly done by the powers that be. And his whole thing was just kind of letting that be known. And so here's my whole take on the entire interview in a whole. If you ask me, when it comes down to Kanye West, a lot of times I don't even feel like Kanye West be wrong. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I can say that truly even from my own experiences I have seen and been around.
Yeah.
I can't say that he's wrong. But what I will say is that I feel sometimes it gets diluted with the antics.
Yes.
And just thinking about people, like I can't put myself in this situation, right? So I'm just thinking about such a grand scheme of people. They'll pay attention to what you're saying in a way of mockery, but there is no sense of understanding there because the antics are so loud that it's going right over their head.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. I actually agree with that wholeheartedly because we always talk about the fact that Kanye is like ahead of his time. But with him being ahead of his time, once we have the dialogue of, is he right about certain things? Yes, sometimes he's right about things that people can't see. And naturally, there are some people who can see beyond what's happening right now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like Kanye is one of those people, but at the same time, the antics, the rants, the additional things kind of move people away from the goalpost. When he's trying to bring awareness to certain situations, when he do certain things, it kind of throws it all off. Now everybody done missed the mark, and you really could have educated a bunch of people on a certain topic or brought them closer to your world to kind of understand what it is that you deal with, but it's hard to because you have to dissect so many other moving parts. Now granted, he does struggle with his mental health, so I'm almost sure that those antics and the rants and those different things is where that comes from. But again, just agreeing with you, Kanye be knowing what Kanye talking about. Like the reality of the situation is that there is an attack on the black men in the industry right now. Now, granted, are some of these black men constantly putting themselves in a situation to where they can keep being the scapegoat? Yes, they did. But does that take away from the dialogue of what's currently happening right now? No, it doesn't. So
I mean, when I think about it, you know, even get down to that situation, how you just explained, like putting themselves in that situation. When I think about even how he emotionally reacts to everything, it makes me think about, so if you ever saw The Godfather, right? How the brother, he kind of got to this point to where he was the center of the family and he had to kill his own brother. The whole idea about how he went about every move that he made was strategic.
Yeah.
Now, is Kanye strategic? Yes.
Very.
But is Kanye emotional and loud? Yes. The brother in that situation, he's not emotional and loud. He does everything strategically and quiet, and it's with tact. So when he strikes, but it's impactful, and people listen because he hasn't led them wrong either in his decision. So I feel like, I say that to say, I feel like some of the things that Kanye does, there is other ways to go about it. But I think, just like he even said in the interview, he's so far gone at this point, there's nothing he can do that can be right anyway.
Yeah.
People has already counted him out. So anything he do from this point on don't even matter. So he might as well just go big or go home.
Yeah, he's pretty much an extremist with a purpose, you know? And I mean, I have my days. I'm never mad at it, but I do have my days where it's like, you could have told us that without doing all of this. Literally.
Now, he also did explain certain things about his relationship with Kim. He said that he do wish he never got with Kim. He said it probably was one of the worst decisions he made.
Wow.
Now, even thinking about that, there goes something else. Remember, you had a conversation about 2 weeks ago when we was talking about the whole situation of dating within your space. And the type of people you go for, right? I feel like with Kim, Kanye saw something that he wanted out of her. I don't know if that was validation, what it was. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think now looking at the residual of it, it's like, I put myself in a bad situation.
Yeah.
I should have never even got into that. I want your take on it.
I feel like it could be some truth there to that. I feel like sometimes we can, again, set ourselves up to walk straight into something that's not really for us. And I'm not gonna lie, for whatever reason, it's always something going over there at that Kardashian household. It ain't nobody that's been in that household or that dealt with any one of them girls that come back out of the situation exactly the same way. So I'm not shocked that he feels like that at all. Now, Dante, I'm going to say that this right here is... I hate to give Kanye clickbait, but I'm going to have to give Kanye clickbait. He's talking about some real stuff. But, again, the antics, the rants, the outfit, the just certain things just... clogs my ears a little bit to some of the information that he's trying to feed us. So I'm gonna give it clickbait.
I mean, for me, I'll give it the idea of clickbait only because, I mean, anything in Kanye true fashion is clickbait. Sometimes it's good clickbait, sometimes it's bad clickbait. But I think in this case, it's just literally clickbait to garner attention to whatever it is he gotta say or whatever it is he about to drop. Something's coming from Kanye. Clearly, that's usually when Kanye go on his little internet rants and his social media, tours. Yeah. Because I call it a social media tour.
For sure.
That's the only time we get that from him. All right, Daysha. So now we do have to move on to some other news. Now, this is not the best news, but we got to report it once again. So if you don't know, Atlanta rapper Young Scooter has recently died after, in a runaway from the police. He punctured his artery, I want to say, an important artery in his leg, that he ended up losing a lot of blood. And before he could even make it to the hospital, he passed. Now, once again, this is hard to say, sad to say, and rest in peace to this young guy and his family. I want to send our condolences to them as well. Yes,
me too. This is kind of one of those things that was like a wow moment. I don't think nobody thought about this. Nobody saw this coming. And then even bigger, it was his birthday.
Makes it worse.
It was his birthday, so it's like, that's crazy. Now, it is a bunch of stories around this situation, and some people had believed that he had been shot by Atlanta PD, but that was clarified in a press conference that he was not. That was another situation that was not connected at all to Young Scooter's situation, and that was a 42-year-old male who was shot in the process of being apprehended by APD. So, just to give y'all that difference. Now, this is... Now we got to play all the Young Scooter songs that we know, at least for the next week. At least, do you know any?
I know Young Scooter songs, but
you
I cannot get I can't get the damn titles out.
I do what you want. You do what you can.
I
do what I want. You do what you can.
I haven't listened to Young Scooter in a little minute.
That's crazy. My baby mama left. I bought another nigga, bitch.
I know that one.
That's the same song. My God. I stashed away a meal just so shit don't go as planned. Same song.
I can't keep up with lyrics.
Okay. Well, RIP to Young Scooter, and we send out love and prayers to all of his family members and loved ones that is affected by this situation in the city of Atlanta. Now, Dante, we have some new music that just came out, and Keri Hilson, who has come out of retirement after 15 years, just dropped a new song called Bae. Now, it's very cute, very R&B vibe feels, and it gives Chocolate Factory Keri Hilson to me.
I ain't gonna lie, I like the song. What I did not like was the people in the comments talking about, oh, it sounds outdated. No, your music just sounds dated because you can't sing.
That's Keri Hilson. That's why I said it sounded like Chocolate Factory.
It was like new artists who nobody really even know for real. Talking about, oh, this sounds dated. No, it does not. It sounds like somebody who got real vocals.
Yeah.
And can really sing.
Yeah.
And can make an actual record.
Yeah, I think that the song was cute. I'm not mad at it. Her project is listed on Apple Music. Now, the songs are blurred out at the moment because it hasn't fully dropped, but we can see how many tracks she'll have, and we can see the names of the different tracks as well. So I'm excited to see what Keri Hilson does, because if you know, you know.
Right. Now, I'm looking forward to it. I am. I'm actually looking forward to the album. Now, also, you know who else I'm looking forward to? They just dropped. Bow Wow and Chris Brown. They just dropped a new single. That single is featuring the sample from Ashanti's Dunna, 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 Dunna. Yeah. I loved it. I ain't gonna lie. But like I already told y'all, there's nothing that Chris Brown can do in my eyes that's ever wrong. And him getting with Bow Wow, it just was nostalgic for me because it took me to the back in the days.
Very face-off moment.
Right. It took me to those eras. So I'm all here for it. That's definitely for the culture for me when it comes down to music.
For me as well. The structure of this song pretty much gave the vibes of Bow Wow and Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like they kind of just picked back up on that same vibe and same tempo that they had when they had their Face Off project, and they had, that was Face Off him and Omarion.
No, Face Off was him and Omarion.
Yes. Well, when Chris Brown and Bow Wow worked on their joint project back in Isla Day, this had the exact same essence to it for me. So I feel like when I heard it, I felt like it was one of those situations where it was like something I kind of almost heard before, but it still felt new at the same time. It was good to hear Bow Wow jump on the track as well, to let us know that he still has the bars and he can still do a 1-2. So I'm not mad at it.
Now, on top of that, we can't forget to talk about the fact that Chris Brown is also going on tour. One shot for Chris Brown. Going on tour, and he also taking Summer Walker and Bryson Tiller along with him for the ride. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I'm here for this.
I'm here for this. I will be going to this.
Tampa. I'm going to the Tampa dates.
I'm either going to Miami, Tampa, or Atlanta. If I can make two of them, I will, because I was at the 11/11 tour and it was amazing. So how can I miss 20 years worth of work being displayed on the stage right in front of me? That's crazy. No way I'm missing it.
Once again, I said this before and I'll say it again. Chris Brown is a GOAT, whether you like it or not.
Can't take it away from him.
Debate your mama.
Now, Dante, we're going to take it up out of here.
Right, let's go. Now, that was another great episode of Culture of Clickbait, and I'm your boy Dante.
And I'm your girl, Daysha E.
And you know what we do. We take the hottest in sports, music, and entertainment, and we decide if it's for the culture
or simply for clicks.
Until next time. Hey! Now I can eat my wings.